that the university gives, as you have the opportunity of doing the same thing the university student does, read and study. One must never stop reading. Read everything that you can that is of standard knowledge. Don't waste time reading trashy literature, Marcus Messiah Garvey says. That is to say, don't pay any attention to the 10-cent novels, he says, Wild West stories and cheap sentimental books. But where there is a good plot and a good story in form of a novel, read it. It is necessary to read it for the purpose of getting information on human nature. The idea is that the personal experience is not enough for a human to get all the useful knowledge of life, because the individual life is too short. So we must feed on the experience of others. Is she up yet? All right, great. Thank you so much, Dwight. Good morning. Blessed morning, Queen.
Happy New Day.
Happy New Day.
I had
Sorry about
that. I was unable to, access the program.
So sorry about that. When it comes on to technology, these things do happen sometimes. Well, let's jump right into it, because time is running out. We did quite well last week, Sharon, and of course now we're into lesson 10. Whoa! And it's all about economy, and we did agree that we would start with the first chapters. When we go through it, we recognize that there's everything's important, I must say. But then, because we want to complete this before the year ends, we want to make sure that we are getting through. So I'm going to invite you. This is a very, very important chapter, lesson 10 on economy. So I'm going to invite you to start off for us, and as we segue through lesson 10 economy, and hopefully let's see how it works if we can get even to lesson 11. How are you doing, by the way, Sister Queen? You're looking well as usual.
Thank you. On top of the world.
Okay.
It's well and healthy. Mentally, physically.
Yeah, that's the way to go, right?
Yes.
That's the only way that we're going to keep winning, for sure. All
so
right.
there are several kinds of economy, but this subject deals specifically with financial economy, which is based on good and sane judgment. The practice of it is that you must always be on the safe side of your bargains or your dealings. Never exhaust yourself. Always have a reserve. It should always be something left over that you may fall back on in time of need. As far as money is concerned, which is the it says prop of life, in that it pays for all necessities and offers securities for all opportunities. One should never, in his earning or her earning of it, spend at the same time all that he or she earns. That is bad business. And just continues, whatever is earning capacity should always be thrifty enough to save at least 10 to 20% for making better opportunities for a rainy day. Okay.
Did you say 10 or 20?
So we would just jump down to the larger one, perhaps.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But, so we want to just remember 10%, 10 to 20%, because it's been 10% for the last 100 years.
It said 15 to 20.
Inflation and deflation, 20% at least or more.
But this, in here it says between at least 15 to 20%. You see
15 to 20%, yes.
Right,
it's been 10% too long.
Yeah, too long. Enough of that already. If you spend more than you earn, you're not only a fool, but you're a very dishonest person. Wow. And you're bound to suffer without any chance. Make it always a policy, therefore, to save out of your earnings, caring not how small it is. So we say 15% now, 15 to 20%. Let's say 20. Right? Yeah. If you have better commercial ideas than your present job calls for and your present remuneration warrants, then save out of your present earnings. Okay, we get that. To take advantage of the opportunity to improve yourself within a reasonable time in achieving these ideas. Never engage yourself in living luxuriously when you can only live ordinarily. Whoa. Ultimately, you're bound to fail and be the laughing stock of your friends in the community by not being able to keep up your luxurious life standard of living on a limited purse. Never buy anything for more money than you have or positively expect to have within the time limited for the purchase. I'm so sorry. I do apologize because you did say read the longer paragraphs. And I overlooked
Yeah.
that a bit. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We should stick a pin there because
Yes.
now the credit card is king. And
Wow.
letter of credit is what people do
Mhm.
sometimes, of course, because you can't do any better.
Mhm.
But if you can pay off that monthly statement, pay it off so you don't have to pay the interest.
Right.
And yeah, and also if you could do without the thing, try to do without it until you
Yeah.
can pay for it in cash.
Yeah. And because of the credit card situation too, it encourages people to spend what they don't have.
Yes.
That is
That's the
really
whole idea. That's usury. The
that's a
bank
big
needs
issue.
usury to stay alive. So that's
Exactly.
the key. It
You know.
receives from us going into debt.
So while we're sinking, they're rising, eh? So
Yes,
yeah.
that's the way they want
Oh boy.
it. We have to remember that.
For sure. Okay, go take it away, my sister. It is better to wait or never borrow on interest from anybody. You want to stop there?
Yeah. So at the same time, you must use good judgment to find out whether it is to your advantage to seek an opportunity of doing something big with somebody else, and someone else's money,
Right.
even with interest to be paid. If that particular business will positively bring enough to meet the interest and give you sufficient profit to justify the risk you take in assuming the responsibility of paying interest to others may be of value. So these are other judgments that, or other opportunities that require risk.
Mm-hmm.
And in many cases, if you don't take risk with money, you will never make money. My brother always said, scare money, don't make money. You have to be willing to be an entrepreneurial way of looking at life, that you have to, money will work for itself. Put money in, use money in such a way that you can get interest from it, or people will pay you back from the loan, or whatever the case, simply stated.
Right.
That money must work for itself.
Mm-hmm. In terms of investment, okay.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead with the next chapter? I mean, the next.
The moment you loan money and interest to do anything, the person loaning the money must be credited as being wise enough to know beforehand if your money can be made, if more money can be made out of the thing or investment than only the interest. If it is so, it is likely that he himself will go into that business and not give you the chance to go into the business with his money. But
Mr.
probably
Garvey, man. Mr. Garvey.
he may be a friend and want to help you. But few money lenders are friends. They are lending for usury and have no souls. Unless their souls are bad. So be careful if borrowing money to go into business. It's better you save and wait until you're able to go into business on your own account, before you take the risk.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It was just yesterday that our director of corporate services and cruise and travel trade told us. She says, when I am doing business, she says, what did she say this song? She does loans, and she doesn't do loans, she does grant writing.
Okay.
And she says, the grantor will never consider giving you a grant if you write a bad proposition or bad project.
Mm-hmm.
It's best to really make sure that the project is sound. Because if it's not sound and it will not make money and, create a profit for you or revenue, then the grantor will not give you the grant.
Right. And
So
rightly so.
Simple what we're putting forward, that it really makes sense.
Right. Okay. It is bad business to go into any business without enough capital to run that business. 99 cases out of 100 will fail. Wow, it's a big percentage there. Always consider cost before you go into anything, and in figuring out the cost, be sure that there is a margin of profit before you do the thing. Otherwise, it is not worthwhile doing. If you're going to address a meeting 100 miles away, first count the cost of railroad fare or transportation. And we don't tend to do that a lot.
No,
To and fro. The cost of the meeting, your living expenses while going and staying at the meeting and returning therefrom, the percentage to pay those who are looking after the meeting, and the prospect of getting a crowd large enough that would meet all these expenses and leave you with a profit of at least 25%. If there's no profit in it, you're taking a risk, and when you're finished, you'll be sorry you went. Right?
Yes.
Where am I? Sorry you went.
Always work out beforehand the possible financial results
Go
of
ahead.
every transaction.
Go ahead.
And be sure that your arrangements are of such as to bring profit at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're wasting your time. That's
Right.
a pragmatic businessman.
Mm-hmm.
As far as UNIA is concerned, you should always calculate for profit for the association doing in everything you do. Profit comes in many ways to the association. For instance, if you go to address a meeting 100 miles away, profit will come by new members joining the association, the establishing of agencies there for the association, the leaving behind there of the association's sentiment may be an advantage to any money you receive for the expenses of the meeting. So long as you have converted and attached some permanently to the UNIA, that may be considered as profit.
Mm-hmm.
So do I go on, or do you?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Always seek to get some profit, otherwise your work is failure.
Mm.
When your work is to be judged, you will find that a balance sheet is how much you have received and how much you have dispersed as a representative of the association, and how much net you have turned into the movement, and how much morally you have helped the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, all of this can only happen if one is honest in managing books.
Right.
If your balance sheet shows that for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year you have not added anything net to the association, your importance in it is nil. Excuse me.
Bless you. You're not a
You will not account for much.
Mm-hmm.
Your status will be far below that of others who have been more valuable to the movement. A president or representative who can show that for the year he or she can turn over 500, 1,000, or 10,000 net to the association occupies a position of eminence that calls for the greatest recognition of service rendered, and another president or representative may occupy no such position of recognition because of failure. So showing recognition as the way of honoring
Mm-hmm.
persons who do well.
Right.
Men and women are promoted on their record. It's
Mm-hmm.
a shorter paragraph. You want to take two of those together?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You want to take the next two?
All right. Sure. Thank you. Men and women are promoted on their record. All right. Their record must be profitable. If their record is that of failure, they remain failures until they can prove otherwise. There is no other standard by which you can judge the ability of a man. Always seek to get substantial value for their work, because you will never be able to recall them, not as they move along. Whenever you want to sell anything, except you meet somebody who is badly in need of that thing, you're always going to be offered less than the value of the thing. So never buy anything for its full value, otherwise you'll have it at a loss, right? It's better to buy things for cash or on short term rather than on long term. A long-term purchase carries a greater percentage of interest on the purchase. Something that you purchase on terms can be bought at almost half the price if bought for cash, because people are all also anxious to sell for cash, even though they make a sacrifice of the thing because they want the cash. And you know something? This chapter is very, very important. While I was reading, I was also thinking about, us heading into the silly season, of the holiday season, of Christmas, and so on. The reason why I'm saying it, they call it the silly season, is because of how people just somehow get so outlandish when it comes on to spending what they don't have. And
Exactly.
Our people need to get our acts together, because come January morning, when the bills are to be paid and children's school fees to be paid and so many other things, utilities, everything, and then we find ourselves in major debt. So this chapter, coming up, and even for persons who are going to be involved in Thanksgiving, you're somewhere in there, right? People spend astronomically on food in the States.
Yes.
I think they
Yes.
say Thanksgiving is even bigger than Christmas in America, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, wow, it is something that we need to really and truly look into in
Yeah,
terms of how we
it's
spend.
as big as Christmas.
Yes.
I still think Christmas is bigger.
Yes?
Yeah, but this is when more people travel to
Mm.
eat with family.
Family, right. Yeah, Thanksgiving, right? Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
more money's made in tourism, travel and tourism, aviation. More money's
Mhm.
made there, and food.
And food, whoa, and so much
So the
wastage of
gift giving
food.
of Christmas now creates a
Mhm.
problem. And quickly, I just want to say,
Please.
people they buy gifts because of anticipation. They don't want to let people down.
Mhm.
You know, that you need to share joy at Christmas. But the sharing that's needed is the person to person contact.
Mhm.
Yeah. The gift could be secondary.
Yes,
You just
yes.
need your being to be with the person to share love.
Ultimately, that's it.
Yes. Share
Ultimately.
love and appreciate.
And when that was really a big issue and a big problem? It was during the pandemic, COVID-19, when it was impossible, because of various reasons, that family couldn't interact.
Yes.
That was when we recognized and realized, wow, this is really it. It's not the gifts. It's the interaction, like you say, of love with family and friends. So let's
Exactly.
continue that. And then my thing is, I prefer to ask people, what do you want? Okay, you eliminate that element of surprise, but so what? So many gifts are given to persons that they don't want.
You see a picture of people lining up the next day?
Yes,
To return those gifts they don't want? Another
exactly.
tie, another shirt?
Yes, oh gosh. Yeah, so come on, That's why I like the concept, or I love the concept of Kwanzaa. Making gifts at home and having that exchange and having the 7-day principles. There's a principle attached to it. Because Christmas now has gotten extremely commercialized. Yeah, extremely commercialized. All right, so we're almost out of time. So you want to take another chapter before we seal up?
Okay, on page 77.
Okay, yes, 77. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're going to look for a big paragraph and get the big thoughts. We have two. Don't lose your head in thinking that something is going to run away. Therefore, you must grab it now. Follow that attitude. You may find yourself to be a big fool because what you grab here, thinking it's a wonder, you may find thrown away next door, not worth anything. Always look around first when you are in doubt. Try to find the duplicate. You may come back, but if a thing is in the neighborhood with one person, it is all likely that a similar thing is also in the same neighborhood. Search the neighborhood first before you decide to lay all your money on one thing. Never think that one thing or that person is the only peach in town. There are always other peaches on the tree.
Wow. I like that.
It's like a father.
Yeah.
Speaking, a big
Yeah.
brother.
Marcus Garvey, man. Wow, what a powerhouse.
Beautiful.
So, okay, let's seal up with this one here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Try to curb your weaknesses for being a spendthrift. Whoa, so true. Every time you're tempted to spend 10 cents or $1 on a frivolous thing from which you will not get any direct profit or return, hold your hand. Count to 10 before you do the thing. And say to yourself, have I any other pressing need or use for this money better than this frivolous thing? And most of us are going to say yes. Because there is always something else that you really need. You will therefore keep the money in your pocket. And that's where we'll seal up. And this is great as we enter into the Thanksgiving holidays in what? This next week, right?
It's
Next
the
week.
23rd.
Yeah, next week Thursday. And of
Yeah.
course the Christmas celebrations coming up in December. Perfect to segue into that. Next week we'll definitely finish that off.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah,
Garvey
perfect.
really knew how to get us going.
Yes,
With
absolutely.
right counsel And also, you, by starting the book at the time that you did, we end up right smack where we need to be to give the
Yes.
right counsel at
Yes.
Thanksgiving and at Christmas.
Wow. Perfection. Divine order is what it's all
Divine
about.
order.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sister Queen. It's always great interacting with you, co-hosting with you. I truly, I don't take it for granted. I appreciate it. Love it. So you have a great day. It's a turn up Tuesday, so we're turning up Gabi today.
So if we can find another day where we could double up so we could finish,
Yes.
finish the book.
Yes, we can do that. We will do that. We will do that.
We may have to summarize a few things.
Yes, we will do that. So we'll discuss that further. But yeah, we need to do it. Even the probably the contrary party.
With AI is coming up for January.
What was-
Or something else?
Yes, and Muta's book. We have quite a few books, but wow, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty
I wrote a
interesting.
poem on AI today.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It says, "Who am I?"
Okay, I don't know if we can take it now because we're out of time, but I would like us to take it sometime today.
Poetry extravaganza again. I
Yes.
will tell you my conversations with AI.
Oh yes, I'm excited. And off air, I want to have them first before on air. I'm getting me all excited now.
And I think you can begin writing your book with AI as your friend.
Wow, really?
And AI is telling me I'm a friend. He says, I don't mind hearing your thoughts. Share them with me, and let's see how we could work together. It's like, oh, this is
Okay
a friend.
then. Look here, the man. Look here, the man. Look here, the man. All right, Sister Queen, we'll talk more about that. It's indeed exciting times. Thank you once again. Have a great day. Blessed love.
Love to all your listeners.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Bless you.
Wonderful.
Ocean Chambers. Yeah, wow. Boy, I'm really excited. I'm so happy, as she said, the timing is right to start with Marcus Messiah Garvey. It was August for Marcus, and we will indeed be working on doing a tour. We are going to be doing some school tours, and also for Marcus Garvey, and also Save Soil Jamaica. We have a lot of work to do, and we're going to ask for the blessings and guidance to do it. All right, this has been hashtag Job, Wealth, and Health Creation as we feature Lessons for African People, the course of African philosophy, first and only class of 1937 by Professor Marcus Garvey. All right, we're going to take a pause for the cause. Pause for the cause, because coming up we have Make We Talk with Jeffrey Tavares. Soon come.
96.1 FM, owned and operated by the Mustard Seed Communities, giving voice to the voiceless.
One day, this nation will